everybody. Welcome to my channel. I am IronAnthro, and I'm making this video to introduce myself to you, the audience, and to also explain the purpose of this channel. So let's get started. I'm going to introduce myself. I am IronAnthro, and I am a recent college graduate. I have a bachelor's degree in German, and I minored in anthropology with a specialization in sociocultural anthropology. And I am actually planning on returning to graduate school to pursue a doctorate in sociocultural anthropology. So I created this channel because I love video games and I like showing people the games I play, because some of the games I play are kind of obscure and not a lot of people have heard about them. But also, this channel is going to act as a sort of portfolio for research that I am conducting. And this research concerns the visual novel genre. Now, you're probably wondering, what's a visual novel? A visual novel is a game that has minimal action sequences and focuses more on text delivery for story. There can be voiceovers, there can be animation, but most of the times all the effort goes into the story and rendering the illustrations and sprites for the characters. I will be doing a more in-depth video on the visual novel genre itself later, when I've conducted sufficient enough research that I feel comfortable presenting what I've found and learned to everyone, and once I've come to my own conclusions through participant observation and research. Anyway, aside from this project, I am also in the beginning stages of conducting research on the religion Asatru. However, that's something completely different. I just mention it to show that I am very academic in nature, and I tend to take on projects like this just because I want to. And also, this is to show my background in sociocultural anthropology. I have a background in white supremacism, religion, sorcery, immigration and asylum. I've done work on all of that. Most of my work has centered on Germany, but this Asatru research will center on the first heathen Hof established in Iceland in over 1,000 years. But that's something that will be discussed later after I've conducted it in a few years. Anyway, as I said, this channel is meant to explore the visual novel as a genre, and so that means I will be breaking down the genre into its components. What makes a visual novel? What qualities does a visual novel have? And I will also do this for the subgenres of visual novels as well, which visual novels are in a way like novels. They just have visual images attached to them. So that means that, yes, they definitely have subgenres such as horror, otome, dating sim, many different subgenres, and it's a very rich genre to look into. And that's one of the reasons why I chose it, aside from visual novels being one of my favorite genres of games to play. So as I mentioned before, there are subgenres of visual novels, and I do have a slight inkling of genres I want to look at and games that I will be looking at for those genres. The genre that I am most interested in is the horror genre, and that's because for visual novels, horror tends to be based off of Asian horror, and Asian horror is very intriguing to me. It operates very differently from Western European horror, and I would like to learn more about that just out of curiosity. And that will be the biggest obstacle in this investigation because the series that I have chosen to investigate for the horror genre is called Shin Hayaragami, and so far, as of this recording, it has not been localized. Girl Gamer Gab did a wonderful translation. I'm assuming it's wonderful because I don't know any Japanese. This is why it's going to be a big obstacle. But it made a lot of sense watching it. And because anthropology requires participant observation, that means that I will be required to play these games. So I will most likely have to learn Japanese or hope that the games are localized. But it doesn't seem likely at this point, so I'm probably going to have to learn Japanese alongside Icelandic. Another genre that I am looking at is mainly due to its popularity, and that is the otome genre. I have some experience with otome, and I am going to look at a game that kind of subverts the typical formula for it, and that is Code Realized Guardian of Rebirth. People have said that it's not exactly an otome, but it follows the formula, so that will be interesting to look at. Hakuoki is also a very popular otome. That's actually one I've played and I have experience with, so that's why I included it in this. And I'm trying to think of other examples. Danganronpa is a good example of a visual novel. It kind of is hard to place for me. I would have to play it and really think about it to figure out how to place it. And another one that's difficult to place, mainly because I haven't played it, is Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters. I'm not sure if it could be classified as horror or if it should be something else. That's why I classified it with Danganronpa in this video, where I'm not sure about where I should place it. So that's why those two are together, but we will definitely be looking at those. So, as you can see, I've already started my research with the game, the house, and Fata Morgana. I still have yet to pinpoint what category I would put it under, but I'm saving that for when I complete the game. And also, if you have any suggestions on what to classify a game as, or what genres I should look into, please let me know. Message me, comment, email me, do whatever you need to make sure I see it. Because this will require input from others that know the genre, that is a part of anthropological investigation, is we do something called participant or observation, which means we actively participate in the community we're studying, or we interact with the thing that we're studying. In this case, it would be the visual novel genre, and I am interacting with it in this case by playing them. And this approach was pioneered by Bronislaw Malinowski in his work with the Trobriand Islanders during World War I, when he got stuck there because he was considered suspicious by I forgot which country's government, but he wasn't allowed to leave and he was stuck there for a while, so he pioneered what he called the off the veranda approach, which we now call participant observation. Just a fun little bit of history for you. The systems I will be playing on, that's pretty important, I think. And I've chosen systems that tend to have the most support for visual novels, and those are the PS4, the PS Vita, PC. I will also probably be emulating PSP games because I sold my system a few months back. Um, there is one DS game I'm slated to look at. However, that's kind of an exception, and I will be emulating that as well, just because I'm not sure if I would be able to track down a physical copy of it. And it's also easier to record in emulation than it is to do off-screen capture for a system like that, which I will have to do anyway with the PS Vita. I am interested in translating games. I have a Groovy page, and I'll link it below so you can look at what I am interested in recording, and you can also offer me suggestions based on what I have or haven't put in there. And this is just so you can keep track. And I do have a Facebook page where you can interact with me and find more information. I will be posting updates on progress and things like that. And I will also be posting discussions concerning games, the genre, and the fan community. Now, as I mentioned before, I will be studying a community, so that means I need what are called informants. So that means that I need people who would be willing to answer questions that I have and explain to me what, for them, how the genre works and how it affects them. So if you are interested in being an informant, when we get to that point, I'll be opening up a call for informants. And if you're interested, do keep that in mind and reach out to me, and I would be happy to discuss it with you and what that means. Anyway, this is going to be a pretty interesting journey. I'm very excited for what I'm going to do here. So let's try to learn something about the visual novel genre together.